All right. One question that I do get a lot is, especially from our newer customers that we haven't built their sites for, is, is there something that I could be doing to get started on this? And the answer is yes, absolutely. You can edit any of your sub pages, and I do encourage you to go in and kind of put your own spin on those. So let's go to our site. Now, keep in mind, if you've just purchased, what you're seeing here, or the themes that you would have seen on the worksheet, those have to be hand-built by our design team. So if you're doing your initial login before you've either had your consult, or before we've sent you your preview link, it's not going to look like the layout that was confirmed. So as long as you're aware of that, the main purpose is to be able to get into the back end. There's kind of two ways to do it. One way is there's an admin login link down here that'll take us to the back end. The other way is after this slash, you just type in inbound marketing, which I prefer this way. It's going to ask me to, either way you're going to be asked to log in. And if for some reason you don't know what your username and password is, please give our support team a call. They can help you get logged in and kind of get things going. Their number, if you need it, is 866 300, and I need to share my screen. Thank you, Jordan. There we go. If you ever need to reach our support team, which they're the ones that are going to help you with about a good 99% of any questions you've got about the site or how to use something on the back end. The other 1% of the time is if it has to do with your home page or your footer, that's the design team. That's what we do. So let me back up here a second so you guys can kind of see. This right here is what I was referring to. This is one of our hand-coded layouts that we do. The admin link, you can have it down at the bottom, or if for some reason you've chosen to disable this, which that is an option, you can also always go to whatever the domain name is, or at least after this initial slash if it's at the temporary one, and then just type in inbound marketing. And we'll get logged in again, and ta-da, here you are. To get into edit your content pages, you're just going to go into the website content page here. Now, Thursdays are when we normally do our more product-oriented classes that we really walk you through how to do this. So some of this I'm going to kind of skip over and talk more strategies of how you can use what we've already provided you, I'm going to show you how to get in and edit it, just because that's part of the process with what we're going to be doing. But I highly encourage you to attend our classes Thursdays at 9 a.m. if you've got more training how-to type questions. And you can also go to our help.pipeline ROI site as well and call our support team. That's what they're there for. They are there to help. So I'll put that in there as well. All right. So we'll use one of these provided pages here. I think let's do sellers, because we'll say I'm focusing on the sellers. So with this, we've got the preloaded content that's there. This is one of our Ghostwriter pages, which that's a really good feature to help you keep your site fresh. Let me shift that over to my other monitor real quick. I know this is a Ghostwriter page because of these arrows right here. Any of the pages that have the arrows are going to be wholly unique to your site. I should know because I've been working on getting some of them updated and adding some new options, some new visuals and things. And the chances of you having the exact same page as somebody else of one of these ghostwriters is astronomical, just because there's so many variable changes. And to kind of show you the way that works, and why you want to do it, or why you may want to set some of the pages up to do this. Trying to set up the sticky notes, but I don't know where it's starting. So we'll just grab, I'm pulling up a notebook here, or a notepad. So we just grab and use that. Okay. Make this a little bit more manageable. Okay. So we're going to do this paragraph right here. And this is actually one that I've recently done, but it's just not live yet. And we're going to turn on word wrap so you guys can. So here's the sentence currently as it stands. If I click the rewrite page, it's going to respin it. You'll notice that the picture jumped over to the other side. You've got some other information that's here. And I mean, this is an entirely different sentence, but it changes the paragraphs, it changes the pictures out, it changes all sorts of things. So this is one way, because search engines like fresh content that's up to date, and by setting this on there, that's kind of a set it and forget it feature, so you don't have to worry about, oh, have I posted a blog post, have I updated something on my site recently. That's where this comes into play, to help you keep your site up. Now you can go in and edit these. So let's see, let's say I cover more than Oklahoma City, which is probably very typical for you guys. So you edit it just like a Word editor. This is how it works for all of our content pages. Some other things I'm going to show you that can help increase engagement on your site while we're here in the page edit mode is, let's see, I'm going to skim through here to see top selling conditions. So you can do stage your home. I know that we've got provided content for staging your home, so it's going to show up as an inline link here. I'm going to actually link to that page, so that way if somebody wanted more information about staging their home, they could click on that and it would then take them to that page. To create a hyperlink, you just highlight and go to the custom links. My selected content is anything that's currently showing in your navigation. So let me show you guys what I mean by that. So anything that's selected is going to show up in my drop downs. So staging your house, since it's showing up here, I know I want to look for it here. This is listed alphabetically, and I'll try not to give any, there we go. So I just click on that, and now this becomes a link that will then take somebody into that page if they're ready, but it's not, it's still in line with the text, so it very easily can still be read without looking like, I'll show you. So it doesn't look like I just pasted this in there, because then that's really hard to read. So you always, whenever you're creating links, you want to link within within the text like this. Let's say we wanted to link to maybe a page or something that wasn't on our site, and we want to do it. So let's say you keep a Google Calendar. You highlight My Schedule, and then, though I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying you should put your schedule out there to the world, but I would get, no, you guys cannot see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Let me redo that. Remove the link. So just to make sure you guys were able to see this, stage your home, went to custom links, and then chose staging your house, and it created it inline as opposed to putting that mess in the middle of my text. Okay, so if we were to link to an outside page like a Google Events calendar or something like that, you highlight that and then create, click on this little create link button. It's going to ask you where you want it to go. I'm just going to throw it to Google right now. And then this is especially important anytime you're linking to an a page that's not part of your actual website, is you want to tell it to open in a new window. That way it's not affecting what's called your bounce rate, which means that somebody landed on your site, they clicked on a link, and they were immediately taken away. I've got a post here I can kind of show you that on. So now we've shown how to do that. Links are probably the second most important thing about your site when it comes to optimizing for organic search ranking. Search engines want to see good, relevant content. The other half of that is they want to see interlinking between the pages of your site, as well as links to other sites that are on the internet. And your ultimate goal is to get other people to link to your site, whether that's through an agreement that maybe you've got with some mortgage brokers if you're an agent, or vice versa, where you each have a preferred vendors page and it lists a little bit of information about, in this example, I'll do mortgage broker has their site and they're linking to another agent's site. So you'd have a little bit about the agent on your site and then something that links over in a new window to their site, which helps them out, and then they do the same thing for you, because that shows that your sites are kind of interconnected, and it's like a vote of confidence for your site. And so the more votes you've got, the more authority search engines like Google accredit your site for. And links are a real big way to do that. Plus, and when you're talking about search engine optimization anymore, you really don't have to have a lot of technical knowledge to do it, because all of the under the hood stuff, one, we either already handle it for you within the platform itself, or some of the old tricks you may have heard, like putting your keywords all over the in the hidden areas and things like that. Those tricks don't work anymore. You really want to make sure that you've got good content, that you're marketing that content, because there's no such thing on the internet of if you build it, they will come. Not Field of Dreams, doesn't work that way. You have to market the heck out of your site through social media, networking, however you want to do that. But again, how to create, if it's on your site, you want to use this custom links. If it's off your site, use this, and remember to set it to a new window. And let me actually illustrate that point. So for that, we're going to go to our blog. Go to August. There we go. Okay. So this link is set to open, sorry, we'll go to the Railway Museum first. This link is set to open in the same window. So when I click on it, what happens is, hey, they updated their site. I can go through, click more news, find more information about different things. But in order to get back to the site I was on, I have to hit back 4 times. So by that point, or worse yet, okay, I got the information I wanted from the site that I jumped to, I close out of it, your site is gone. So that's why you don't want to have it open in the same window, which is the default setting if it's something that's not part of your site. Now for the Science Museum, we have, you see how it opened here in a new tab? Depending on the browser settings, it'll either be a new tab or a new window. I have mine set up for tabs just because I don't want to have a bunch of open windows. But you'll notice my site's still hanging out behind it, so whenever they go through, I forgot the site has a lot of sound, so whenever they go through and look at the different articles and things, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. Your site is still hanging out behind there saying, hey, there you go. Okay, great question, Adele. She asks, would you open in the same site, I'm guessing you mean same window or tab, if you're adding a link to your home page from the drop-down menu? Okay, yeah. The way it works with your drop-down menu is these are always going to open in the same window. If you were, because I kind of am envisioning maybe a scenario where you're talking about maybe, we'll use the Oklahoma Railway Museum as an example. Sorry guys, my son loves trains. I've been there a ton. But so if we were to create a new page for that, and we wanted to link to that page, you can do that. It's just much better. Yeah, and here you can't have any spaces, so you just put whatever's going to appear after the slash. If I could type today. Where you could kind of write, and this is something that could be done in a blog post or anything like that, but if it's something that you had a category that was community activities and you wanted to highlight maybe specific museums or specific activities, that's where you could kind of throw this in and then link, write your own spin on it, and then you could create that link. Now, whenever you're creating pages, they're on your site because everything you see here is actually on your site. Whether or not you have it turned on or off is through these check boxes. So I'm going to check this first-time sellers tips, hit save. That's just our email promoter making itself known. And then I'm going to hit next. This is where you actually navigate. So thanks Jordan, I just realized when I was typing railway, it's actually, I typed the name of the font, not the museum. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But you just drag it in here because these are all pages on your site. So these really aren't links per se. It's just a manner of getting to different pages, which actually does bring me to a really good point. The goal isn't to get your home page to the top of Google. The goal is to focus on the content, on the individual content pages and getting them to rank well for their own subject matter. So that's something that I'll kind of go into. So we've covered how to link pages, how, and I kind of showed you why you want certain ones to open in the same window versus um, if um, if your domain, if it doesn't have your lead in here, it needs to open in a new window. So if you're linking to the Science Museum or linking to a golf course or something like that, and the golf course is going to have their own domain versus anything after this is going to be theirs or on your site. So yeah, if you can put this in there and get, for example, I'll go here. Since this has my domain in front of it, this is one that I would want to link to using the custom link. Let's see, did I close out of that editing window? No, I did not. Where you would want to use this custom links right here, because that's going to have anything that you can find and edit on your own that is in, go back a step, that's in here will be in this list. If it does not have a checkbox next to it, like these three right here do not, it's going to show up under non-selected. If it's in your navigation, it's going to have a checkbox and it's going to show up in selected. If you'd like help with your individual site, I do encourage you to actually reach out to our support team, because they'll be able to do kind of some more of the one-on-one where we're kind of keeping it general in this course here. Okay, so let's see. There are a couple other places here that you can go in and edit that I suggest you do, but it's actually going to make a little bit more sense in the scope of that secondary discussion I talked about us doing, where I'm going to show you how you can use search engine results to kind of reverse engineer a little bit of content inspiration, as well as optimize your existing content to rank for some of those same terms. So let's get into that. Okay. Actually, so I don't get too lost, we're going to close out of that. And I'm going to go Google. So just because I'm in Chrome, I can either type it in the address bar and it works the same as whether I type it here or there. But I'm relocating to Oklahoma City. Okay. Where your potential customers are going to start, they're going to turn to Google or a similar search engine to start their home buying process, to start looking for information about refinancing their home, to insert service that you guys provide here. So the important thing is to know what type of customer that you're trying to target, because you're going to want to focus on different things for the pages or information that are for your first-time buyers versus if you're talking to people that are looking to maybe downsize their home. Those are going to be two very different, you're going to use two different sorry, my words are getting crossed here, different strategies for marketing to those people to be able to do so in a way that's very relevant to them. This is kind of what I meant by don't worry about your entire site ranking. You want to focus at the page level in order to get that, because as one page does, because especially if you're interlinking between your pages, those pages are going to rise in authority and results as well. So one of the things that I'm opting to kind of focus on, or at least show that I've got a specialty, we'll go back to my home page, is I've got a page that's relocating to Oklahoma City. When it comes to trying to compete with search engines organically, you want to try to focus on kind of varied levels. I could do relocating. There's going to be a lot of competition for that. By getting locally specific, relocating to Oklahoma City, I'm getting very localized search. So I could get even more specific with relocating to Tinker Air Force Base. And you'll see I get a completely different set of results. So, you know, in Oklahoma City, this is one of the larger bases that's around here. So if I wanted to make that kind of, I want to attract more of those types of customers because, you know, I've either had really good, I relate to them well, I get good referrals from them. You know, I want to make sure that I've got something on my site that's just for those guys. So that's just an example of how you can even get it narrow, because you'll see that, oh, hang on. We had about 50,000 results here versus, we'll do Oklahoma City, versus 300,000 versus 471. So the more specific you can kind of make it and make sure that those are included in the text on your page, the better, the more likely it is you're going to be able to actually compete for the rankings in that area. Because you'll notice here, Zillow and Trulia doesn't show up on this list. I'm going to do city though, just so it's kind of with the example that I've already got handy for you guys. So now we've got these. You'll notice that at one point there was one up here that had a little green ad banner. Anytime you're engaging a service for SEO, a lot of times what they're doing is they are being paid to run pay-per-click or ad campaigns for you, usually through Google AdWords or Facebook. The idea behind that business model and the reason why those guys are in business is because it's in their best interest to make sure that you're still wanting to pay for that rank. What I'm trying to teach you and what we here at Pipeline ROI advocate is giving you the strategies and tools you need to optimize your own content to where you're actually going to get organic ranking, which more people, 75% of people are going to go to the organic results versus clicking on a paid ad. Because again, it's one of those, I know that they're paying to be in that spot. They may not be my best answer versus the ones that are organic. Chances are they are going to be the better or more close choice to what I'm looking for. So that's just something to keep in mind when you've got people that are either sending you unsolicited, going, hey, I ran my SEO tool on your site and here are my suggestions, you know, pay me, you know, $700 a month and I can guarantee all this. Really look into what you're getting for that, please. That is my public service announcement for this webinar. But okay, so from here, let's go back over, and I have a page already kind of done up. So let's pull up that for the editor, and we'll go back here for a second. So we can kind of look at these side by side. When people are doing a search, there are a couple of things that come into play. One, I'm going to burst a bubble right now. Keywords don't really matter, not in the sense that they used to. First of all, you'll notice I did relocating to Oklahoma City. Yes, the top result has it. This one doesn't, but it's kind of interspersed. This one just has Oklahoma City in it, and this one has moving to OKC. Search engines are smart. They know, you'll notice that you had the suggested search options when I was looking for Tinker and some of the others. Because of that, you don't have to hit the nail on the head with your key terms anymore. Yay! Made it so much easier. You know, that said, you can kind of put them where you're wanting to, and they need to fall in places where they are organically being used and where the customer will actually see them. For example, the button name. When we say button name, we're talking about, this looks weird right now because it's at a non-standard size. So there we go. Relocating to Oklahoma City. So button name, that's what shows up in your navigation. And then you've got relocating to OKC is what I put as my other. I could put Oklahoma City if I wanted to, but since I wanted a shorter web address, I just hyphenated it because, well, you know, that we identify ourselves through the airport code, or vice versa. I don't know. But then we've got our content. So through here, it's talking specifically about, let me expand this one out for a second. For some of these specific areas, specific neighborhoods, it's dropping those points in the map that cements you more as that local expert. Instead of saying, you know, the Oklahoma City Metro, I'm talking about specific areas like Bricktown, Midtown, Arts District, and you know, on and on and on. So the more you can kind of do that, it does help you solidify as that local expert. Where we're actually interested more in with our search results, shift this out, is going to be, I mentioned keywords don't matter. When I'm talking about that, you'll notice that we do have a box where you can put in keywords. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just not really helping you either. This particular box, where it kind of puts things in for Google to see, hasn't been used by them since 2009. Bing and Yahoo followed suit in 2010, 2011. So anyone that's telling you, well, you need more keywords in your, usually it's called a meta tag, bypass them. They're operating off of at least a half decade of old information. Though there are, I think, Google, Bing, and Yahoo make up about 94 to 96, depending on which study you're looking at, % of current search engine traffic over all of the internet. So, I mean, if you're wanting to maybe get found on that 6% of all other search engines, keywords, I mean, again, it's not hurting, it's not helping, it's up to you. I'm leaving it blank more or less to illustrate that point. Now, the two fields that are really important here are your page title, which is the link that's here, and your page description. These are going to be the first impressions and the first chances you have to set the expectation for what somebody's going to be able to get from you if they go to your site to get the information that you're trying to present to help them build trust with you to where they feel comfortable, you know, becoming that lead. In this, it's more, this is more kind of awareness of that you're out there stage as far as where they are maybe in that buyer's journey. So important things about the page title. I believe it's 70 characters. I was looking at something recently that said 70 characters. So you want it short, but you want to make sure that it's descriptive. One of the ways that when I'm considering what to use for a page title on my site, I first would, you know, read through if it's one of our provided content pages, for example, I would read through it, think about, okay, what would somebody search that this page would show up in the results? And then you go to Google and you do that search. And from there, what you would do is probably look through a couple of choices to see, you know, what information is the top result covering that you think is worthwhile versus what they may be missing. I know this one of the reasons why they have been consistently, usually it's about these 3, or I can't see the 4th one, or I don't see the 4th one that used to be in this list. But usually is these 3 are kind of varying between option 1. This one I know has a lot of pages that interlink and kind of take somebody on a journey through the site. That's why one of the reasons why I was saying interlinking your pages is extremely important. So you may want to go through, and as you're going through and looking through some of the content, you may go through and say, yeah, I want to link to this page here, and then just go set that up, because you totally do that. Now, and then this one just has a bunch of, it's a list of places, but for me, 30 is way too much to ask anybody to go through. So the way I'm choosing to make my page title stand out here is, what do people really want to know about when they're relocating to an area? What neighborhood is going to fit their lifestyle or budget? So that's why I'm choosing to go, 10 neighborhoods to consider when relocating to Oklahoma City. What might actually be a better order for this, just because the keywords that are further into your page title tend to have a little bit more rank than those outside. Again, we're splitting hairs, but again, there. Relocating to Oklahoma City, 10 neighborhoods to consider. Let's actually make this grammatically correct, and there you go. You can customize this all you want. Again, you are limited to 70 characters. If it goes beyond that, you'll see here that there's a little ellipsis. So it's 30 things I need to know before I move, move downtown, move where, I don't know what the end of that sentence is. So again, you want to make it fit what's going to show up, what the people are going to see. The other big area is, if you grab their attention with the page title, this is where you're going to set that expectation of what they're going to actually get if they click that result. If you don't put in a page description, by default, what it's going to do is pull in, looks like it's doing this on that one, is it's pulling in whatever the first couple of lines is of the actual page itself. So you do want to be succinct here, and a lot of this too is a lot of psychology, and so you want to kind of really put yourself in the mind of your customer of what would attract them, what would catch their attention, what would they expect to know before they just choose to take that leap to click on your site and go through. So for this, it's, choose your lifestyle, because one thing that I've seen some agents do that I think that is a really good idea is I'm not just here to find you a house. I'm selling a lifestyle or something like that, whether that's, rural country living, relaxed, or, high-rise condo apartments in Miami or something like that. However you want to market yourself or present it, the idea behind this is to try to get them to click that link. So from the article that I've written up top, I've used that to dictate my description. So essentially, because I'm hitting on a varied array of different neighborhoods or sub-communities within Oklahoma City, it's giving them that option of, oh, if somebody clicks on this, I get to choose to see. It's like, wow, there's this diverse in Oklahoma City. Most people don't realize that. And plus, I'm putting in there that, hey, I've been in the area for 29 years. I'm, a local real estate expert. So don't be afraid to brand yourself as an expert in your descriptions, especially because people want to work with experts. and search engines want to point people to the experts, not the jacks of all trades. They don't want the generalists. Though it's not to say you can't target more than one person with your site. I mean, on the site here, we've got buying, selling. Let me close this real quick. Let me pull this back out. I mean, we've got, buying, selling, and even under buying, we do have the relocating. So it's just a matter of having something for that specific group, or even if it's several pages on your site. That's the key point when it comes to your content. So now we've got the page title and description. I'm going to talk about this lovely thing. Notice I don't have anything checked here. This is something that you used to have to be able to submit a sitemap to Google in order to get them to crawl your site. You really don't have to do that anymore. A lot of times you can get a Google Analytics code and we can get it in there for you. And you don't really have to put the links in the site footer anymore. It's just kind of overload because it leads to a really bloated footer. And the idea behind your footer, just to kind of give you an idea, is yes, we do have some navigation links here, but these are ones that we've actually hand-coded and put in there versus having the entire breadth of your navigation underneath here. It just doesn't look good. It's not clean. People these days, they want clean. They don't want overwhelm. By having things in those categories like this, it works. But I can tell you from very recent experience that you don't have to submit to Google anymore. There's an online community that I help manage that we recently moved over, not just to a new server, but changed our domain name. Well, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we started getting alerts that Google had pretty much crawled our site, I think, over 100,000 times in one day. They were pretty much indexing our site that day, and it actually brought the site down. Now, that's not going to happen with any of your sites because we manage the hosting and all of that versus this was hosted completely 100% outside of here. But we didn't submit to Google. We actually didn't even have analytics on the new site at that point. So that was purely Google just going out there crawling. They found something that I guess linked to the new site and just went to town. Because that's how the search engine robots work now, and that's why it's also important to interlink your pages, is they'll periodically go back and check a page, and if it's linked to another page, then they know to kind of crawl, and we'll do that. So yeah, you don't really need to do this. You don't have to submit your page to search engines. That is another SEO service that some of those other agencies will provide us. We submit all your pages to search engines. Don't have to anymore. Trust me. Like I said, that is a very recent real-world example of not having to submit to Google. So there you go. Okay. So going back, let's examine some of these search engine results to kind of see, kind of reinforce a little bit about what I've talked about today. Before I get too far down that road, I do want to ask you guys, do you have any questions? Do you have maybe an idea of one of the pages you might want to help maybe focus on for the rank, and have questions about how to go about optimizing that? Or even how to narrow maybe a niche that you do if you're like first-time home buyers, or one I actually haven't seen a lot of information for. Let me Google it and see. I'm trying to think outside of how to sell your home. Yeah, home, house, selling house for first time. There are like how-tos, but this one, they've actually had a couple couple more recent ones come out, but there's not a lot. These are all national level, not really even trying to get much data on there. But you could take this and put just your state and do first-time home seller in Oklahoma and probably rock the heck out of that, because local results get a little bit more ranked than the national. They usually try to turn to the national if there's no local results. Okay, I do have a question. Okay, so new homes. Adele, where are you out of? Okay, Powder Springs, Georgia. So, yeah, it's Powder Springs, Georgia. All right, so let's see. Cool. Well, first of all, I can tell that if you're trying to pay for some of the rank, you do have some competition here, but again, only about 25% of the people that do searches actually click on the paid. So we're going to look here. So what you'll probably want to do, let's see, new homes. But you said it's a specific neighborhood. Okay, a lot of new construction within Interlinking. So they'll probably be buying a new home in Georgia. If I could type, that would be awesome. So the kind of information you would probably want to have on the page would be probably pointing out the fact that I know a lot of first-time homebuyers may think that a new home is outside the scope of what they would be able to afford. I know in Oklahoma City that's not necessarily the case. I don't know what it's like in your market, but if that's the same case, I would kind of put on the hat of who might be looking for a new construction home, maybe shattering some of that perception of that they're not as affordable as houses that are currently on the market. Oh yeah, sweet, yay. So what I would suggest you do is create a new page, and without knowing if, do you use our IDX? Or do you have that integrated with your site, or are you using a third party that's not Pipeline? Okay. But it is one that we do integrate with your board, is I guess what I'm trying to do. Okay. I don't have anybody from our support team on here. Can you see if you can't locate Adele's account and have our support team kind of, or enter a support ticket for the IDX team to take a look? I know sometimes it can depend on your board as far as how long it takes for approval. Because I've talked with that team, and they're like, yeah, some boards only approve on like the second Friday of the month or some weird thing like that. So that could be why. The key thing though is that you do integrate with ours. So content-wise, what people are going to want from, what I would expect if I were moving to your area and we're considering a new construction. First off, let's go to, I would go into our For Buyers page, and for the first-time buyers, I would edit this to include something that links over to new construction. You know, kind of a lead-in of, you know, new construction, it can be an option for first-time home buyers. You know, it's really affordable. Here's a page that has some benefits or something like that. So that's one way you could interlink between first-time home buyers and our new construction page, which is it? Yes, it is. We do have a provided page. You can go in here and edit it. New construction, I believe, does have Ghostwriter. Switching gears and talking back about Ghostwriter for a second, if you've gone in and actually done some customization to the page, I would actually turn it off, because the main point of that is to keep it, is to make sure that it's unique to you, and as long as you've got either one Ghostwriter page turned on that'll just kind of keep doing the generic content, you'll be fine. The other alternative is, get your pages the way you want it, and then blog, once, twice a month, to keep your page updated. Because one, you're not really going to get crawled twice in 1 month. 30 days is once every 30 days, you're doing fine. If you want to do a blog post more than twice a month, that's even better. But I know you guys are usually, strapped for time, and it's easier to kind of ease in with one a month. Whether that's community events, different things like that. So for Adele, what you could do is talk about maybe really good idea for a blog post would be, I'm sure you work with several builders. Highlight some of the builders in a blog, and then you can link in a new window over to their site, and you can talk to them about becoming, if they have a provided agents or preferred agents or something on their end, ask them to link to your site. So that's one way that you could kind of help get more around that area. And as well as share on their social media. I know that especially if you're doing an article about a certain builder, builder XYZ, write the article, send it with them and say, hey, would you mind sharing this on your social media? Because one, it's free publicity for them. Two, it links to your site so they see that you're an agent. Winning for everybody. Thanks, Jordan, for that reminder about the social media. So yeah, that's one of the things with the new construction. Where I would also begin is if it's in certain development areas, I would create a saved IDX search. And we do actually have videos on our YouTube channel that breaks this down individually, so you'll kind of see the different options and step by step, but I'm just going to do one real quick to kind of show you with what could be done. So we're going to go search manager, and next. And I'm trying to think of an area that I know of this new construction. I'll make one up. You can do by zip code. I could do by city, which that's not the same zip code that I need, but yeah, it gets me there. Trying to find, oh, Meeker, Oklahoma, please. I was wondering why that wasn't looking correct. Just letting me know that I've had that open too long, so let me close out that. So let's say there was some new construction going out around the lake. No, that's not the case, but we're going to make that. So I could draw an area just by right-clicking and placing my mouse points and doing that. And then when I'm done, I'm just do close shape. Hit next. And then you can do vacant land would probably be a good search, because if you're selling lots where they're doing that. Hey, that's awesome, to have buyers that bought due to lack of inventory. And that would even be a good article too, because that's something that you can talk about, hey, we may not have the inventory, but guess what? You can get the house you want that nobody else has lived in, so you don't have to worry about those problems that come with buying a house that's been on the market before. So just focus on all of those positives too. And that's a good way to really attract, because one, positivity attracts, and it helps as well. And I'm trying to remember, you can put in different lot types. So we do lot type. No. If it's in a specific subdivision, this will pull from your MLS. I'm trying to see, since it's vacant land, since it's new construction and it's in particular areas, drawing the shapes around those neighborhoods or around those developments that are coming up is going to be your best bet to be able to kind of isolate those homes. Another way that you could do it is when you're importing your listings, you could set the listing search to be homes that are new construction. And again, that's something our support team can kind of help you with as well, because I just looked at the clock, I've got 4 minutes. But once you create that save search, let's go back over to our content area, you can then add it. Where's our new construction page? New construction. You can then go down here to either do a lead capture, which is what we've currently got on this page that's looking to buy, which the class that I did last week was all about creating custom lead capture forms, just because you get about 9 times, if I'm remembering the stat correctly, about 9 times the amount of leads that our customers get versus just using this generic form. Plus it gives you a lot more control on it. And then I could want to take off lead capture. And this is one thing I like about our platform is you can try one thing for a little bit, like, you know, I would say give something about a 3-month run, and if you're not seeing any results from it, well, change it up. So for example, in this case, we had a generic lead capture form. Let's say we weren't really getting any leads from that. So what I want to do is put in listings, and I'm going to customize what that's going to pull from. I'm going to set it to our save search with IDX, and I want it to only pull in things from, we'll do Chandler land search, and then you can do ascending or descending, and then hit save. Then now hit save and close. I refresh this page. It'll take it a second to pull in, but it will pull in any land listings that I've got within. This one wasn't a drawn, but again, if you're looking, a lot of people out here want land and then they build a house on it. It's what we do. But you can see that you've also got some that are in subdivisions for different things as well. So that's a good way that you can kind of do new construction, whether they're wanting to either pick their lot, or if you actually have listings that you're getting, you could set this to be, you know, your listings specifically that are the new construction. So yeah, thanks for the help on that, Jordan. Jordan's one of our marketers here as well, so she's always full of good ideas. But this has been a really good class. I'm glad I could help kind of throw out some ideas out there about how you can kind of leverage that new construction side of your market. As always, give our support team a call if you get stuck or have any questions on your own site, because they'll be able to actually, you know, walk you through it on your side as opposed to going through where the Oklahoma MLS is currently set up. All right, well, you guys have a great afternoon. I'll be probably posting this on YouTube here in a little bit. So you'll be able to re-watch it if you either missed something or didn't get it. And as always, again, please call us and ask a question if you've got it. We're here to help you guys. We're here to help you guys succeed. It's what we do. Bye.